Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with a message for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This will be a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read, but it's typically going to be about your relationship with someone or something in particular, okay? Spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, those that come to us in and through unconditional love. What messages do you have for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements at this time? Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any significant placements. What do they need to know, see, and be aware of from the time they view this video moving forward? If this is your first time watching one of my readings, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become an official sunflower. And to all my sunflowers out there, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. All right. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. Sagittarius. Most important messages, predictions, and happenings to, for, from, about, and around Sagittarius. Just a couple more and we'll get started here. All right. Comfort, confirmation, or clarity. Whatever Sag needs right now, let's give it to them. We have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck, Virgo energy. You might be in a period of isolation, whether that's voluntary or forced, a time of reflection, or just staying to yourself, not feeling super social. Or you might be dealing with a Virgo. Let's see. Let's get into it. Let's get into it before I say too much. 9 cards for Sagittarius, please. First card out, we have the Death card, Scorpio energy, the 3 of Swords. We have the 10 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the 9 of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the 6 of Cups, the Lovers, and we have the King of Wands. Very interesting. We have the Ace of Cups as the overall energy. This is a new beginning in love, okay? Why is the Ace of Cups the overall energy for Sagittarius? What I'm basically seeing right now, just basically from looking at what is already on the spread, is that there's, like, you're wandering in the desert. You're wandering in the desert. You haven't had water or food in some time, okay? And you see this beautiful oasis in the form of this Ace of Cups, in the form of this new love, in the form of maybe potentially a soulmate connection, okay? I'm not here to confirm or deny that. If you don't believe in soulmates, hey, it is what it is. I just feel like there might be someone that you feel very spiritually connected to on their way to you. But it's coming... But it just looks odd, okay? I'm gonna leave it right there until I can really get into it. We got the Chariot, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Cups, clarifying the Ace of Cups, and the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, and the 5 of Cups just beyond that. Okay, I'm starting to understand, okay? This reading is a little bit weird, okay? Because there's some incredibly positive energies and some incredibly painful energies, okay? And that really speaks to the duality of the human existence, right? Because some parts of our lives could be going incredibly well and other parts of our lives could be just down the drain, okay? And somehow it's always the negativity that will seep into everything else that seems good, right? I see you having been in some very exhausting situations. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but I see there being a lot of drama or emotional chaos around you that has caused you an incredible amount of pain. It's like you don't know who you can trust, you don't know who's really going to be there for you, or you are moving out of this chapter of having to feel like you were always defending yourself, always coming head to head with people, always putting yourself in situations where people betrayed your trust or just created unnecessary drama in your life. You could be related to these people. These could be people that you grew up with, people who were childhood friends. These are people who maybe you thought that you had a future with in some capacity, or that you would go into the future with in some capacity. And I feel like because you have been through so many things, you're almost jaded, okay? And jaded just means that you don't necessarily believe in love. You don't necessarily believe in the power of connection. You don't necessarily believe that there are any good people left in this wonderful world here that just seems to be filled with people who just are dramatic and chaotic and liars and cheaters and all of these other things. It's almost like you've turned away from dating and even friendship in some ways. And the Hermit now is really speaking to me. That was at the bottom of the deck at the split. because you are choosing to isolate. You are choosing to turn away from social interaction, to turn away from being your normal, happy, charismatic, potentially even outgoing self. Now, you might be naturally introverted. You could be extroverted. It doesn't matter. Saggies come in all shapes, sizes, and flavors, and all of that kind of thing. So a lot of people think that Sagittarians are just outgoing and all the time, and we always want to be seen, and we always want to be heard, and we always want to. That's not necessarily the case. Okay. For some Saggies, you really like your solitude. You really prefer alone time. And for some Saggies, you get charged up being around other people in different environments. Whichever kind of Saggy you are, I feel like right now you are kind of sick of people. You are sick of dating. You are sick of talking. You are sick of socializing. You are sick of it. The Nine of Wands is an energy of just being exhausted. You haven't actually accomplished the goal that you want to accomplish. And what I'm going to assume that goal is actually finding meaningful connections out in this world, specifically romantic, I would say, based on having the Lover's card here. You haven't necessarily found somebody who really makes you feel connected, who really, and not only that, I mean, I don't think it's difficult for people to feel connected to you. I think it's difficult for you to feel connected to them. I think it's difficult for you to find those kind of rare type of connections where you really are like magnetically attracted to somebody and want to spend time with them and want to see them and want to talk to them. It's almost like that's how you know when something or someone is not really for you, because you're not naturally drawn to it. You're not magnetized towards it. You don't have a passion for it. And I feel like that's what you've been experiencing a lot. Just a lot of tiring, exhausting connections with people that you don't even necessarily need to have in your life. It could be you're like limiting other people's access to you. You could be, eliminating people from your inner circle. This could be a really challenging and painful time for you, where you're questioning a lot of the people's values that you have around you, right? And I can understand that. And like I said, this might be leading you to believe that love doesn't exist with this Eight of Swords here, and there are no genuine people out here in the world anymore. So much so that you're turning away from that. And I feel like maybe in the past you have been magnetized to people who weren't necessarily good for you. You have been attracted to people who didn't necessarily treat you very well. So now you might even be questioning your own inner compass. You might even be questioning, like, why do I like this person so much? And you're not allowing yourself to like really fall into it, or to really lean into the feelings that you're having for whatever reason. I do see that there is someone in your life, or someone who will be coming into your life, that you will have a very strong connection with. The unfortunate part about this connection is that it's going to bring up a lot of hurtful memories and a lot of pain for you, because like I said, I think in your past you may have had a history of being attracted or magnetized towards people who aren't good for you, who aren't even good people, okay? What this says to me is that it's going to challenge what you think you know about how you choose people, the people that you're attracted to. What I will say is that if you have been on a self-love or a self-healing journey, you're not who you were, okay, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago. You've evolved, you've changed. So the things that you are now attracted to are also going to change, especially if you've shifted your perspective and you've understood that the reason why you've picked maybe harmful or detrimental people for you in the past is because you were aligned with them in some way, and maybe you put people in places that they didn't belong. Maybe you met people who were really just supposed to be party buddies, and you gave them too much information, you trusted them too much, you leaned on them too much, or you expected too much from them and they disappointed you. Maybe you met guys out there who were just meant to be like situationships, or just, cut and run type situations, and you wanted to make a partner out of them just because you felt so comfortable with them, or you felt like you really cared about them, or you felt, once again, magnetized or attracted to them. It's almost like whenever you feel like you should talk to somebody, get to know somebody, it's always like this person is the one, or this person is going to be my best friend, or this person is going to fulfill all of these needs. And I think that you've come to understand that one person can't fulfill the needs that you're supposed to be fulfilling for yourself. And one person can't do the job of 8 roles. They can't be your therapist, your lover, your best friend, your, all of these things wrapped into one. Now, you do find in these rare occasions, there are people who find partners out there who they are so compatible with, they just enjoy doing a lot of the same things. But honestly, I feel like for you, the kind of person that you're attracted to has changed. So I feel like maybe leaning into that and trusting that a little bit more, trusting your own judgment, or trusting your own intuition a little bit more. I know that you have been hurt, and like I said, this connection is going to trigger a lot of that. And your initial response to this might be to turn away from it, to ignore it, to pretend like it doesn't exist, to not entertain it. because you feel like, oh no, if I want it, then there must be something wrong with it, right? Don't make yourself believe that. You wanted those things you in the past because they served a particular purpose. And maybe you were misassigning or putting people in places that they didn't belong, right? Or wanting or expecting too much from people, okay, without actually allowing them to like unfold, or allowing them to be who they are, and then you get to assign where they go in your life. You know, if you after observing them, after learning them a little bit more, because if you had known a little bit more about the people that you have been kind of initially drawn to, you probably wouldn't have committed so much. You probably wouldn't have put so much of your expectations on them. You probably wouldn't have needed so much from them, because you would have realized after getting to know them that they are not the kind of person who can do that, or they just didn't have the capacity for the things that you were expecting of them. Let's clarify this Knight of Cups here, though. This could even be somebody, the person you're connected to it could even be somebody like who you grew up with, or you have some sort of childhood connection with. Maybe you went to the same schools or something. We have the Moon, we have the Six of Wands, and we have the Three of Pentacles. I think this person is a secret admirer, okay? With the Magician at the bottom of the deck, I feel like they want your attention. They're trying to get your attention. You're not giving it to them. If you have some sort of inkling about who this might be, but they haven't really made their intentions known, or they haven't really come with some grand gesture, it's because what I feel like is that they kind of want to remain in the shadows until they feel really ready or really sure. They also want to make sure like that this is something that's not going to be so hard for them, okay? And I know that this sounds crazy, but I'm just going to say what I'm feeling. This person they know how to manifest what they want, okay? They know how to call into being what it is that they desire without having to work too hard or do too much or put too much action out there. Sometimes all they need is to think about something. Sometimes all they need is to say, oh, I want that. And it'll just come to them, or the opportunities will be made for them. I feel like that's not happening with you, okay? I feel like this person, they're the way that they would typically go about getting someone's attention is more energetic, it's more spiritual, okay? It's more on the level of you can't really see it. They're not really moving on this plane, okay? But things are shifting and happening in order for opportunities to be created for them to get what they want. I don't think that you're responding to them in a way that they're typically used to. I also feel like they haven't actually come out and said, hey, I want to take you on a date. Hey, I'm romantically interested in you. They're the type of person who like plants seeds, or just kind of just looks at you a certain way across the room, and they expect you to come walk over to them, because that's just normally typically how it works for them. Now, I'm not going to say they're a bad person, or you know, they're not doing it right because they're doing it that way. That's the way that just has always worked for them. They have this magnetism. They have this charm where people are naturally drawn to them. And whenever they want someone specific's attention, they just give them a little bit. They plant a little bit of a seed, and then the other person typically makes their way to them. They can manifest this connection with this other person, because this other person will just kind of almost magically, appear in their lives, or they'll have opportunities in which they can interact with this person and kind of grow that connection a little bit more. This person absolutely has their eye on you, and they do understand like you don't give a damn. I think they can see that. I think that they can see that you're not interested in them. And that's almost what's like making them more interested, is because, like I said, they're typically used to getting what they want with very little effort, without having to put themselves out there or be bold or be aggressive in any kind of way. And I just feel like this person is very confident, very self-assured. They're coming through as very handsome or very attractive, okay? Especially, and very strong in their masculine energy. They could be an Aries, another Sagittarius, or a Leo. They're coming through as this masculine fire sign energy through the King of Wands, and I just feel like, oh, they're very determined. They're determined. Now, the only thing is like, yeah, the Ace of Cups is the potential for new love, but the only thing is this going to stand the test of time? Is this person only attracted to you because you seem to be the only person who's not responding to their quote-unquote advances? Is this person only interested in you because, I mean, they were interested in you at first before, but it's almost like now that you are like, I'm dealing with some other shit. I got some other stuff going on. I got some other drama in my life that I'm paying attention to. I'm trying to, process the pain that I've been working through for a while. I'm trying to elevate myself. I'm trying to grow up, and I'm tired of being hurt, right? I think this person can maybe, I don't know if they can read that off you, but they do know that there's something else that has your attention, or there's a reason why you're not paying attention to them. And that's like got their wheels going a little bit. So let's clarify this King of Wands. See what's going on with this King of Wands. Why is the King of Wands here for Sagittarius? Because I don't see this as your energy at all. And it could be if you're pursuing somebody, it's because they got other stuff going on that don't have nothing to do with you. They've been hurt before. So if you don't have good intentions, leave them alone. Okay? We got the Page of Cups. Okay? So this is like crush type energy. This isn't somebody who's obsessed. This isn't somebody who's gonna like be stalking you and doing a bunch of stuff, because they don't have to do that with anybody else, and they're not desperate for your love. They're not desperate for your attention. But they understand that typically they get what they want. So whenever they don't get what they want, it's like, why isn't this working out for me? I don't know. We have the Page of Cups here, which means they're probably going to send you some message. They might be a little bit flirty. They're probably going to communicate with you in kind of a, not necessarily romantic, but more of like a friendly, social, hey, can we go out and grab a drink kind of way. But really, I would say that they have a deep desire to get to know you better, or to at least capture your attention, okay? I'm not necessarily sold on the idea that this person is going to be somebody who creates like a long-lasting relationship with you. I don't know. I think it really just depends on how things go, but I will say they are very driven and determined to get your attention. And whether or not that ends up in a relationship, we got the Two of Cups just under that. I feel like you're very skeptical. You're very skeptical. You're doubtful that this person actually wants anything serious or wants anything committed with you. And you have other stuff going on that's holding your attention, so you're not necessarily focused on this. So let me ask a question that's not on the spread. What are this person's intentions with Sagittarius? Why do they want Sagittarius's attention so bad? Why do they want Sag? And why do they want Saggy's attention so bad? Like, what is it about Saggy that they just... Like, what are their intentions? What are their intentions in pursuing Sag? When clearly Sag has not been showing any interest back. Let's see. We got the Three of Cups. Yeah. I will say, I don't think this person is like really about anything serious. I think they just want to have a good time. Now, Queen of Swords, Seven of Swords. Okay, you'll be able to, if this person is just full of shit, you'll know. Okay. What I will say is, if you do need a little bit of lightness, if you do need a little bit of levity, if you are just trying to have a good time, if you don't necessarily want to commit yourself to anybody right now, this person might be worth exploring. Okay, so there's no judgment here. Not every relationship has to be the one. Not every relationship has to stand the test of time. Okay, some things are just for fun. You could go out and have a little summer fling and enjoy yourself. Have a little situation with somebody that, you don't necessarily want anything more with. Maybe just go out, have some drinks, have some fun. You might enjoy their company. I don't necessarily see it being anything more than that. Not right now anyway. Especially because you haven't really seen this person in that light. Or maybe you're just so distracted with the other stuff you have going on that you're not even paying attention to this person. Like, you don't even care. Like, it's like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This person may have reached out to you already, or they will. If they haven't, they definitely will. Or they're going to be flirty with you when they see you, or they're going to try to drop hints. They might even invite you out for like a little friend date. I just feel like this person is going to be so I think that you'll be able to read that this person is not necessarily looking for anything serious. What it turns into is up to both of you guys, but I would not say that this person is going to be like the one, or like this person is going to be your life partner or anything like that. I think that maybe that's what you're exhausted of. So if you are tired of people who just want to have a good time, who just want to take advantage of you being an awesome, amazing person to experience and having great energy, if you're tired of that, if you're tired of feeling exploited by people who don't really actually want what you want or have the goals for the future that you want, then I'd say just let this go. But if you're in the mood to have a good time, to lighten up, to have some fun, then sure, whatever. It's really up to you. It's really up to you to decide whatever it is that you want to do. But I feel like most of you are looking for something long term. Most of you are looking for something that's really real, where there is that emotional intimacy and that emotional connection there. This is what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll be with you next time.